Mark, everyone fit for this one after the weekend?
Everyone's fit, squad's in good shape, touch wood, we've got light training tomorrow, then we're ready for Sunday.
What, well, I should ask Danny the same question. You obviously, your priority is the league. How do you've got 3 cup competitions this season, how do you prioritise them at all in terms of rotating your squad at all?
I think we use our squad, as simple as that. We don't use a squad just for a competition. It's using your squad as and when is appropriate and making sure we go to win every competition. We have to. If you enter a tournament, you go in to win it. But it won't impact us. The players want to play games. The hardest job, I think, is keeping the squad, the balance of the fitness appropriate, making sure every squad member is ready to play. And to do that, you have to make sure they have enough pitch time. So these games really help us.
Do you feel those who are here have maybe blended together quicker than you would have expected?
Yeah, I think a lot of the research, if you remember our first press conferences, we spoke about adding value on and off the pitch. That means they go into a changing room, dressing room here and add to the unity, not detract from it. So they've gone in there, and the players we brought in, we've been delighted with the impact they've had on both sides of the white line. So the feedback from the players already here has been really positive about how they've blended into the group. Their contribution on the pitch has been very apparent. So far so good in that respect.
What's been the main message to the players, Mark, coming off the back of, well, in terms of scoreline, such a convincing win last time out?
The message is we've got to learn from every game we play. That's the key message, and they realise in the first 25-30 minutes we dropped our standards. We weren't at the level we need to be at, and Hibs punished us. We went 1 down and could in truth be 2 down. Great reaction to going 2-1 up, and then from there the character of the squad was very evident. I thought the way we responded, the quality of the goals, the positive nature of the play in the second half was really pleasing. But as I said, we have to learn from that first period.
These types of games now, this one for instance, are they in a sense difficult to prepare for, and they're almost no win? You're expected to win by a few goals, and the expectations around Ibrox are always so high.
This is where the knowledge and experience of the likes of David Weir and Jim Stewart come into play, in that they've always said to the players that every game for Rangers is a cup final. It has to be that way, and sometimes that term is used too frequently, but it is. You know, so on Sunday we know we expect a strong challenge from a very determined opponent. You know, playing at Ibrox, I'm sure, will stimulate any player, and we have to recognise that, nullify it, and try and dominate the game in a way we'd like to dominate. And if we can do that, we'll be okay. But if we don't, as I say, if we let our standards slip, then we'll have a problem.
Do the new players, particularly the forward-thinking ones, have a bit of a spring in their step, having got, you know, hit the ground running so well last week?
Yeah, footballers want to play. They enjoyed it. I've been delighted with the way they've embraced how we want to play the game. And you look at the likes of Lee Wallace and James Tavernier, and you look at the contributions of midfield players, Andy Halliday, etc. Great for Martin Waghorn to get a couple of goals. You know, Barry Mackay and Temps, etc. We've used the squad. Kenny Miller's come on, had a fantastic impression. So really pleased with the squad in general. They know what they have to do. They know the responsibilities. They know the weight of expectation at Rangers Football Club, and they look forward to every game.
There's a lot of excitement from supporters after what was such a resounding result. I mean, how do you manage that expectation?
But you have to enjoy it. You know, you can't drown under it. I keep saying it every week. Really, we have to look at that and say that this is Rangers Football Club. You know, there is that weight of expectation, and it's how you deal with it which will determine how well you do at this football club. Right now, the supporters are happy. We had a good result last week. Now the focus is Sunday. It's just going to work on Sunday, and that's what they are. They're footballers. It's going to work, do a good job, and send them home happy. If we can do that every single week, we'll be in good shape.
How do you personally handle that expectation? Because you were previously at a club where you're the underdog, if you like, on many occasions. Now you're at a club where it's expected. Yeah,
we've used that as well. Dave and I spoke at length about that. You know, we used it in Brentford's favour last year. Very much a case of going there as the underdog, not expected to win, go and enjoy the occasion and go and show what you can do. Now it's the other way, and we have to recognise it and talk to them. We can talk to them with our experience of being the underdog, and hopefully that benefits them.
Well, obviously the team scored 6 goals last week. You've mentioned it quite a lot of the time that you want to entertain the fans. Is it important for you that the team does that tomorrow, the first competitive game at Ibrox, puts on a show that will say to the fans that this is what you can expect?
I think it's if we play the game how we want to play the game, then hopefully the fans will get good entertainment. It's not about being reckless. You know, we want the defensive shape to learn the fact we could have been 2 down last week. You know, we conceded 2, which is never good. We want clean sheets, of course we do. But at the same time, it's hopefully showing the fans how we want to impose our style of play on the opposition, how we hope we can dominate possession and use it in a positive manner. And if we do that and we send them happy, then everything works. But we're still, you know, some players have been with us less than a couple of weeks. So we have to recognise it takes time for the squad to gel, but been delighted with the way they've done that so far.
You mentioned obviously kind of reiterating to the players what they could have done better at Easter Road as well. Is that important to keep their kind of feet in the ground, that they don't get carried away with it?
Yeah, I think it's honesty. I really think it's honesty. You know, you can go into games, you can draw a game 1-1, and you've dominated games. And I mentioned before, I think, I spoke a couple of weeks ago, we had a game last year, we played outstandingly well, we're by far the better team, lost 3-0. You know, that's the nature of the game we're involved in. But I think last week the honesty is the most important thing. We didn't play well in that first half. Most importantly, they recognised it and they responded to it and corrected it in the second half. So it was great, but honesty has to be the most important component.
Is this a chance for you to see some other players playing competitive action as well from the team we started last week?
How do you mean, sorry?
Will you change it so you can see a few more players?
No, it's about we put a team out which we think is the right team. It's not a weaker team or a stronger team. We put out the right team to win that game of football, always, and make sure that it's about the 18. It's about, on the day. It's making sure we have options on the bench. If we have to change a game, are those options there? And that's the important part of the selection process.
Now that you've reflected on that result, Mark, do you think in the bigger picture of the season that could be quite psychologically important? Because Hibs are going to be your biggest rivals for the title.
No, everyone tells me that. Everyone says it's a big marker down. I don't believe that. I think the marker's done. If we can get 5-6 games into the season and be in the same sort of positive mindset and deliver the same level of performance week in, week out, then we've laid a marker down. This is our intention. Our intention for the season is very clear. And we know what our aims are this season, but I'm sure all the other rivals are doing exactly the same. So we haven't had the first league game yet. If we can get through the first 3 or 4 league games and a couple of cup games, and then our intentions are clear, then we'll be in a good place. But a marker right now, I think it's too early for that.
I suppose if you were a manager and a team did that to your team, then the key thing is to, I suppose, make sure your players don't look at it in a negative aspect. So psychologically it might have affected them more than you guys.
If that was me, I'd turn around and say, well, listen, this happened in the cup, not the league. You know, we play in the league in a few weeks' time, we'll learn from that game and we'll do A, B and C better. From our perspective, we have to recognise what went well, or what worked well for us, what we could do better in the first half an hour, what they might do to us when we play them again. It's all about learning about your opponent, but for us it's about Rangers. It's not about our opponent, it's about doing what we do well, and the better we can do that, then hopefully the better the results. So focus on what we do.
In terms of player recruitment, there's obviously been one name that's dominated everything.
I haven't heard that name at all.
Aside from that, is there still work to be done? Has last week's result changed anything in terms of what you feel you need?
No, I think it's important that a club like Rangers must always be looking to add quality. You know, if quality becomes available, are we in a position to make a move for that individual? And that can be player or staff. So if we can add to the quality of the football department, then we have to make that move. And the moment we stop doing that, I think we have a problem.
You've now made the positive start on the field. I know you don't specifically want to talk about other clubs' players. So in terms of Scott Allan, is it important that you don't get distracted by that whole scenario?
We won't be distracted because Scott is a Hibs player. You know, and I've said many times it's disrespectful to even talk about another club's player. All I would say is, from our Rangers' perspective, is we will always look for quality players. We have to. I'm repeating myself now. It's an important point now for us. Because at the moment we stop looking for quality players, then we become stagnant and we go backwards. So always looking to improve where we can. Every player in the Rangers squad knows that's the nature of the beast here. There's always competition for the shirt, and you have to respond in the right way to it. And the moment we take away that competition away, or that challenge away, then we have a real problem.
You said to us at the cup draw earlier on the week you weren't aware of another bid. Since then there has been another bid. Is that something that you're having any direct influence on, or is it Stuart Robertson, people above you?
My job here is managing the squad of players and the staff, and making sure that the environment here is right to produce the level of performance that we're seeking. That's all it is. It is about the environment you create. So when I talk about adding quality on and off the pitch, that can include staff members as well. It's making sure that we have the best environment here in all areas to best prepare the players, develop the players, because at the end of the day the players are your balance sheet items, aren't they? That's the squad of Rangers Football Club, and we have to make sure we give them the best opportunity to be the best they can.
So you're not having any direct influence on the actual transfers themselves? No.
I have enough problems as it is to sort out up here, so I let the clever people sort that one out, and I keep to the simple things here.
Hibs put out a statement saying the player will not be sold to Rangers. I mean, do you understand that mentality from them?
If it's my player, I'm going to talk positively about my player. So as I say, Scott Allan is not my player, he's Hibs' player, and as I repeat myself here, it's disrespectful to talk about him. It is, because he's not my player. But everyone adopts their own stance and their own mentality, and that's their prerogative.